Now on here today's this Let's Talk. I'm not sure I'm gonna do any like timed broadcast of these anymore. It's just like what the fuck ever. I want to put them out. That's why I usually obviously most of my videos just put up so next to one another. It's just I want to get this shit out there for people to watch, to get their opinions now, to get this shit out of my mind, get it out in the public now. Today's on this video subject is time travel, in which we've already talked about. I link in the description below to my other Let's Talk time travel, in which unfortunately I didn't do this whole face cam shit because I was an idiot. I had the whole Call of Duty backdrop gameplay shit because I was just an idiot, not thinking. Granted, that was I'm not sure how many years ago, but whatever. In which we're talking more information, more possible facts, theories on the aspects of time travel, and conceptual aspects of like how if it is ever to exist, most likely though it is possibly to never exist, because how time itself it's just something that we kind of comprehend but possibly not, because the way we conceive time and the way in which it moves and everything's happening with time might be totally incorrect. We don't know. I mean, it's just our thoughts, our theories on the aspects of time, which we might be getting it all wrong. AM maybe PM. We may not be going forward in time. We might be going backwards in time. All this and shit, because it's all theory. It's all theoretical. I mean, granted, to us it seems factual because it's all that we know. Until something else can come along and say, well, that's not right. But and again, who's to say it? Whoever say that's not right is right. But in aspects of time travel, in which the way in which I have theorized it now, in which it's possibly been theorized about this before, is time travel can only exist and be used in a purpose that has already happened, at least in traveling back in time. It's hard to say if we can change any events in the future if they were already set in stone. Like if you were to go in the future and already interact with all this shit, it's like, is your presence being there destiny? Is it like everything already set in stone? Is the future already has happened? We've just not caught up with it yet. So it's theorized that we might be not even able to travel into the future time wise with the time travel, farther than the aspects of which we usually travel, in the time in which every second, every minute, the way it moves. But at least in the aspects of traveling back in time, it is theorized, at least to me, is that we cannot travel back in time to prevent an event, only to cause an event in which was already caused. So, say you took the machine to go back in time and kill somebody who was destined to be killed that way. Possibly unexplained, possibly caught or whatever. Time travel, the aspects of going back in time can only happen in a way in which it's supposed to happen. You cannot. They say go back in time and change the event. That whole concept. If you had a time machine, would you go back in time to kill Hitler before his rise and all that shit? Would you kill baby Hitler? All that crap. It's theorized is that you cannot go back in time to change an event, because by doing that you are changing the aspects of which is the reason you have a time machine. It is possible that it then could create a paradox in which no one knows what would happen, because there's theorized behind that. It's like either everything would change in which from that time to the time in which you went back in time, or probably farther than that, but also it's theorized that time will collapse in on itself and just destroying everything from the beginning to the end of time and throughout all the universe. So the aspects of why we possibly can never create a time machine is to prevent us from ever fucking over the universe that way. But it's also, like I said, they were theorized that, it could, change time itself, and it just, like time will be rewritten, everything will go about the way in which it would be theorized if something like that were to change. People who are born aren't born, people who are supposed to be born are born, just huge, like they say, the whole butterfly effect. If you go back in time and step on a butterfly, you are, even the smallest thing like that can create a huge ripple in time itself. Granted, that's theorized if you went back in time to like the dinosaur era, but it's possibly theorized also. If you go back 20 years and step on a butterfly, it's theorized, you can change huge amounts of different aspects of time and events. There's also a theory that what has happened, even if you go back in time, you're not going back to the same time aspects of the way that you already traveled regularly. You'd be going back onto it, like say, here's the linear aspects of where you lived, then you created time travel. But instead of going back in time to where you were, you'd go to a different time path and create a new timeline different from the one you're already on. And that time frame would continue and never change, but you'd create a new timeline in which you can live through, knowing all the different events that already has happened but aren't going to happen. And it's just huge amounts of theories about time travel. But as I've stated, the only probability most likely there is to create a time machine and go back in time is to cause an event which was to be caused. Like I said, a murder that was unsolved. You had to go back in time and create that murder for certain events to happen for you to exist and create that time machine. There's a movie I saw a year ago. I'm not sure if it was less than that, but it stars. I'm not sure if I'm saying the title correctly, but it stars Ethan Hunt. So if you want to, go to his IDB, his movie page, whatever. I can't say that word for some reason. The IDBM or whatever, but I believe it's called Predestination or Predetermination, something like that. In which it's like a huge, just mind fuck of a video of time travel. This is not for the kids. This is not for the kids. This is just a straight up, probably rated R, probably PG-13. I don't know. I can't remember, but it's just the whole aspects of the way time works in that way, and which also is not just time travel itself, but the way events went through, in which it was pretty much, there's this person who was raised as a child in like this orphanage, I guess. This little girl, she meets a man, she gets impregnated by the man, she gives birth to a child, which she can't really much raise because other events, like she's trying to get into this whole space travel kind of thing, whereas like these women are, the handmaidens for these men on this space voyage. But she doesn't get accepted because of her violent acts of some sorts, whatever. But like I said, she gives birth to this child, but unfortunately during the birth, there's a complication, which then she gets changed to a man. There's just so many huge things that happen. It's like you have to see this movie to really understand. It's like one of those movies. It's like you cannot explain well. It's something that you have to see to understand. But that's like one of those aspects of theories of time travel, which makes sense. And the other aspects I was talking about in the movie of time travel is not sure if it was the invention of time travel or the finding of time travel, but there's like this point in time to try. You can time travel 30 years in the future or 30 years in the past, and that's as far as you can go via time travel. It's from when it was like either found or invented. You can only go 30 years in the future or in the past from that point in time. And that's how that was like. Why? And it's just like I wish they could explain more on that concept in the movie, but there's other events happening. But it's just time travel itself is so complex. It's just like I think possibly Back to the Future did it some way and somehow correctly. It's not sure, but it's like events can only happen the way in which they're supposed to do if time travel is invented. You cannot go back in time and change an event, otherwise then you create a paradox, because you are changing the reason why in which you went back in time. That in itself creates a paradox in which who knows what happens there. And like I said, of course, it's theorized if you go back in time, you're not even going back on the time in which you came from. You're going to a different timeline. There might be past aspects of us that are living events, but differently. Like there might be, kind of how it's theorized. There's a multiverse. Like we are not only living in the only universe. There are a variety of different universes, which events of things that happen are different. Of course, there can also be theorized that it's not the multiverse, it's also the time first, you'd say. Because, it's the universes in which time went in these events differently. It's like they say, it's the flip of the coin, instead of choosing, for me when I was growing up to, I'm trying to think of theories like I had a ponytail at one point as a kid. Instead of me choosing to cut it off, and which possibly caused the offense for me to go bald. Who knows what the offense which would call? Because the thing is, I'm going bald like right around here. His own hair's going over here, so I shave. Granted, that could be another aspect. Like instead of me choosing to shave my head all the time, I might just let this aspect grow out. Have that whole kind of like Jason Statham kind of look. But who knows? Who knows? But I'm trying to get back on point on aspects of just the multiverse and the timeverse aspects. I would call it. If you were to time travel, you wouldn't be traveling to the same linear time. You'd be traveling to like kind of another universe, another timeline. Is theorized as well if we ever to create time travel. And there's also other aspects of which I came to be knowledge upon about time travel. Like in my last video, I was like, if you were off by a second of the space area in which you're trying to excuse me. If you're off by a second, probably not even that, like a millisecond of when you're trying to travel back in time, you might not even end up on Earth on the space. You might be either stuck in there somewhere, or you might be stuck in outer space because how the rotation of the Earth is. Because like if you time travel like a year from today, I mean, I don't know. I'm hesitating with my words here. If you were to time travel back in time a year from this moment, it is possible that the planet would be in the exact same area. But in reality, from what I've been given knowledge upon of the theory, which is probably not even theory, is probably true, is that wouldn't be correct, because the way in which we're traveling through space on this planet and this galaxy, solar system, all, it is moving through space. We are not standing still in a certain area of this rotation. We are always constantly moving. So even the aspects of time travel, you'd have to not just create a time machine, you'd have to create a spacecraft. If you were to ever travel back in time, even in the future. Because if you traveled back in time even like a second ago, you'd be just lost in space. But seriously, it's true, because the way in which, we're rotating, we're not just rotating like this in a path, we're rotating upwards in a path, So, well, not just upwards, just forwards, or whatever you want to consider it. But, that's what I saw like on a scientific video, is like we're not just staying in one space rotating, because it's kind of like, the whole propeller effect. Like we're spinning, but we're not going to stay in place because there's nothing really holding us in the space. We're just spinning, moving forward, So even if you were to time travel, be it the past or the future, you would have to do a huge amount of calculation of the placement of the Earth itself. Because hell, if you were to time travel back 100 years ago, you'd probably not even end up on this planet. You might probably slightly end up in outer space, but you might also end up on another planet, or on the moon, or on the sun, But like I said, this is all theory, to me at least. I'm just spouting out aspects here of the acts of which I have learned. Granted, these might not be actual factual. That's why I'm just saying these are theories and opinions of me, at least. But time travel, as I really stated in the beginning, can only usually exist to, at least going back in time, to cause an event which was to already be caused, at least. But like I said, you'd have to calculate so much in time travel to get on Earth, be it you're going to the future or the past. There's just so huge of a calculation. Being off by just a millisecond and you are fucked. You are dead. Unless you somehow create at least a spaceship. There are the whole aspects of if you were to time travel. It's hard to even theorize how you would move through time, Because you would say if you created some form of time travel, if you were to go back or forwards in time, you were to even live, This machine might go through whatever this time vortex is, and just you end up dead. Even in that aspect. There's just so many huge theories and concepts and just unknown facts about time travel. It just seems the most likely aspects of it is it's just a fantasy. It will never come to existence. I mean, we are better off, if not just more likely, to ever travel through space, let alone time. I mean, we have yet to even conquer that aspects of travel. We probably have billions of years to ever try to conquer that, let alone time. We are more likely probably to ever travel from our planet to another habitable planet than we are to ever create a time machine. But that's just my theory, that's my opinion. And I thank you for watching this video, this aspects of time travel, this theory, opinion of mine, this talk. If you have any thoughts, theories, opinions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you could, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to possibly see more of this shit. And I thank you for watching. I hope you have a rock'em sock'em day. Peace.